Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay guys, we're going to be looking at the coolest of the turtles today, the freebie Michelangelo. I'm on the test server so I can test out a few things in terms of souls and that type of stuff, but honestly, really interesting kit. So let's jump into that first and kind of talk about his skill set. We've got a double hitter on the A1. If he crits, he gets an increased attack buff for himself, so he's buffing his own damage. And what's interesting here is if you've got anyone who's going to do an ally attack or get him to counter attack, he's going to use his A1, buff himself, so that that buff's then going to stay on for his other abilities as well. So really quite a cool A1. The A2 here is a debuff spreader, which is quite rare to have in the game. So firstly, we get a drop defense. If you book it out, it's a 100% chance to land for 2 turns. Obviously, that debuff spread means he's going to spread that to everybody, but he's also going to spread any other debuffs that are out there which are not crowd control. So he won't spread the stun that he's going to put on a target, but he will spread any other debuffs out there which are not crowd control, which is pretty cool as well. He's also got the ability to ignore 25% of the target's resistance if he was a crit. So again, you can build him for damage, and really the accuracy requirement is pretty low. The debuff spread effect actually is based on the initial champion putting debuffs out there. So if you've got someone like an Astrolith as a good example, Astrolith puts out 2 bombs where they don't need any accuracy to land. They cannot be resisted. The debuff spread will also mean that those cannot be resisted. So it's quite a niche case, but it's actually a really good use case of Michelangelo going with someone like an Astrolith, spreading those bombs in PvP, and just blowing everybody up with no accuracy required. But this element here where he ignores part of the enemy's resistance does just mean that the accuracy requirement is a lot lower. Ignoring 25% resistance is obviously quite a chunk. So yeah, and he's also got this accuracy aura, which means that you don't necessarily need to build him with tons of accuracy to get the job done. The A3 ability here is an AoE hit, and it does hit really hard, which is great. It's got a decrease attack debuff on it, and he's got leech. So he's bringing basically AoE drop defense, he's bringing AoE decrease attack, and AoE leech. If you're a new player, AoE leech means you basically don't need lifesteal gear, so you can just go with either damaging gear, or you can go with gear like perception to give yourself more accuracy to be able to land these different abilities. So he's quite easy to build for a newer player. He's also got abilities basically which mean you reduce the damage that's coming at you, decrease attack. You can heal through your whole team with leech, and you reduce the enemy's defense. Therefore, you know, any sort of wave-based content, he's just going to be really good for. He's got taunt as well. The main place where taunt is useful is Phantom's Grove, and I'll show you a team for that in this video. And then he's also got this passive where he's got the chance to evade an enemy skill and all of its effects, which is extremely unique. So if this champion is under taunt, it's actually going to be a 30% chance to just basically ignore everything that's coming at him. Crits, debuffs, the lot. Which again just means he's got a lot more survivability than he generally should have for an attack-based dude. If there's any more turtles in the group, then he'll do a joint attack with the turtles, which will give him his increased attack from their A1. And then we've got an active effect on his passive here. Places a shield equal to 300% of his attack for 1 turn when he receives a hit. So it's a bit of inbuilt survivability, again, for someone who actually kicks out a good chunk of damage. Now, I've put a 5-star blessing on him here because I'm on a test server. I could go 6-star, okay, in the test server, but we will have, or everyone gets the opportunity to earn a 5-star. So on 5-star blessing, I would recommend Nature's Wrath. Nature's Wrath is going to give us more damage for every debuff we put out there. And he's putting out tons of debuffs. Spreading the other debuffs, I don't think kicks in for this. But his own decreased defense, the AoE decreased attack, AoE leech as well, is a lot of debuffs that are going out there. So he'll very quickly ramp up his damage, almost instantly actually, to 15% more damage, which is very cool. And if you were able to get the 6-star soul, I would actually switch, even though you'll get 30% more damage for the 6-star soul. I still would switch, if you're going for a damage build, to Crushing Rend, where it's just, for PvE, it's insane. So I would switch out for this. But good to have choices, and it depends how you're going to use him in terms of what blessing you want to choose. For this video, I'm going to choose Nature's Wrath. In terms of relics, I would actually go Cat's Gaze, but on the test server, I don't have Cat's Gaze. So I've just picked one. It is a strong one in fairness, but I picked one which has just got crit damage on it. This one also, Stormcaller. I mean, none of us are going to have it, honestly, but 20% chance of placing a Stormcall buff on themselves when we land a crit. Obviously, we're going to be landing crits all the time, so this is an insane weapon. But yeah, I mean, it's really, I just got it for more damage. In terms of masteries, we've gone for like a normal damage type of build with Helm Smasher and what have you. And for gear set, I've gone for 6-piece Merciless. No, I have not. I'm missing one of my pieces of Merciless. Hold on. Hold on. I switched it out for something different. Yeah, that's what I want. 6-piece Merciless, which is going to enable me to ignore 35% defense. I've also got a chance to reduce a skill cooldown, and obviously we're gaining the stats we want here in terms of attack, speed, crit damage. He's really a damage dealer that's got more going on. An out-and-out damage dealer that can also apply really, really strong debuffs. So very, very cool champ. Let's go in and do a damage test first, and then I'm going to show you some interesting teams for some different dungeons. So we're going to go in for my normal damage test on stage 20. We're just going to bring in the normal crew that get this done. So we want our Lydia for drop defense and weaken. Albeit he would also do the drop defense, but I'm just going to bring in my normal team for this. We've got Arbiter, who's going to give us increased attack. We've got Bad L we use as well for the buffed damage. And then we've got Gerptuck for, again, increased damage. Don't have an attack aura in here. I could go for like a crit rate aura, but he's already maxed. But yeah, let's give this a go. Get ready for raid. Maximum damage. Raphael lent me his bandana for this one, so we're going all in for some damage. I'm going to go on stage 19 first for the usual maximum damage test to see what we can kick out with this dude before we actually do some playtesting. So as you can see, we're just pumping debuffs out there. We're going to put poisons on us, poisons on them, and then let's try our A1 ability. If it's a crit, we get the increased attack. Cool, that's like 300k. Interestingly, actually, interesting. So it looks like the first part of the attack did not have increased attack, but then the second hit, I think I got the value of the increased attack on the second hit. There's quite a big damage boost. Let's just check that again. First one, second one, yeah. So the 50% increased attack does scale into his second hit, which is actually pretty damn cool. Let's just see if we can cycle around whilst we've got increased attack up to, I might just kill these, we'll see. Let's just shield over there. Okay, so we can cycle around to his A2. This is where he puts out drop defense. We've obviously already got drop defense out there, but he will do a debuff spread as well. Slow this down, look at the animations as well. Pretty cool, kind of high damage. And obviously we've done the debuff spread. And then let's cycle back through for the A3. Let's see what sort of damage we get with this A3 ability. So A3 here attacks all enemies, shell, cyclone. There's a 75% chance of placing the decreased attack and the leech, and then we get our taunt as well. This one's got high multiplier, so it should be a smack. Oh, it's big actually. 500 to 600k damage. Okay, so we can do damage. That's the first thing. Next thing we're gonna have a look at here is how valuable actually is he in some dungeons. And I'm thinking someone like a Calvalax throwing out poison straight away. We've got Donatello in here for a reset. We've got Michelangelo basically spreading the poisons even further. And then Theodore just like blowing stuff up. We're going for Hard Dragon 10. And let's see what we can get done here with this crew of turtles and other folks. We've got these stun going out there. I've got no more room after the spread for his drop defense, but we do have poison explosion in the mix. And when they take a turn, obviously they just pop their own poisons. So that debuff spread effect just coming in massive, honestly. Donatello giving us a cooldown reduction. Probably didn't even need it there, but still kind of nice. We've got the party dude passive coming in here. So he's got this kind of ability to evade. So we actually took 0 damage, or maybe that was just his shield coming on. So yeah, party dude passive in there again. Look at that. So he's got this inbuilt survivability against even the hardest bosses. As long as he's taken a turn, he's got a chance to get it. And even if he does take a hit, he gets that shield coming in. So high damage, but also massive, like, versatility in his kit. Massive. And obviously, he's going to drop down. Theodore's basically then built to be able to survive the Wrath of the Dragon. But because he's in my squad, he's given me speed of killing this boss. Yeah, him and Calvalax together are basically producing the speed of the run. He's still done a solid amount of damage, over 3 mil damage in that run. So another place where I think he's like really high value is the Phantom's Grove. He's got a taunt ability. You need to make sure he's not got the highest crit damage in your team, because obviously you don't, well, I guess you could have him taking the hits, but I've got highest crit damage with a shield set on my Donatello. So Donatello is going to give me my ability to reset abilities here. Obviously, most of the damage is coming from enemy max HP. But what I'm going to do here is Donatello has got highest crit damage, so he's going to take the hit initially. But then Michelangelo is going to taunt, which means I'm actually spreading the damage between 2 of my guys. Should mean I don't get any losses, and I actually get quite a fast time with this group. So Donatello takes the Enfeeble. We get the big smack from Newt. We get the leech and decrease attack coming in from Michelangelo. We then get the rest of my team basically in there to do the damage. I've got taunt here now, so Michelangelo is actually taking the damage rather than Donatello. And just between them, they're like spreading all of the focus away from my damage dealers. And we're doing it in a super fast time. Really, really, honestly, great team comp. Great team comp. We've got Ninja, who is a free champion. We've got Newt, that was a fusion. See, Cold Heart's in there. Could be any other max HP champ. Probably don't even need Cold Heart, honestly. It's probably enough between Ninja and Newt to get it done. But yeah, super fast and basically very consistent. Very consistent. In fact, I'm just curious. Didn't want to do that. Just curious if I did take Cold Heart out, if that still just runs. If there's enough in the team. We'll try it. So between these guys, we're keeping the stacks low. Donatello picks the stacks back up for us. So we've got the taunt going out here. We get the reset from our Donatello. Yeah, I don't think I've quite got enough damage with this crew, or it's going to be tight. I'm hoping on RNG for Newt there, but anyway, really, really good for this dungeon. Really, really strong. So other areas where he's going to be strong, kind of anywhere is the answer. Any dungeon, he's going to help you like clear waves fast, get through the dungeon very quick. Yeah, almost anywhere. Almost anywhere in the game, he's going to actually be really good. Spreading your debuffs from your other champs, taking on basically anything in the game. I think for later game players, you're going to be using him in Doom Tower for things like the decrease attack, for things like the spreading debuffs in waves. Again, really, really strong and versatile for basically anywhere in Doom Tower. And then in clan bosses, I think he's going to probably fire the strongest in something like Hydra here. Kind of interested just to see what he does here. He's not, unfortunately, in the same faction as my Teox, which would have been brilliant, but he's not. I'm just curious to see, bringing me that AoE decrease attack, bringing me the AoE leech, plus a lot of damage with his hits. Just curious to see what sort of damage we do here. 283 million on hard. Michelangelo doing like 76 mil versus a Teox 178. Teox is top tier damage dealer with crushing rend. I'm actually interested to see now. Hopefully I didn't just save that. I want to see if I go for a 6-star soul and then change him to crushing rend, just what a difference it makes. In fact, I'm going to run it first with 6-star same blessing. So Nature's Wrath versus Crushing Rend. I'm really interested to see it 6-star. So we get like a 292. We didn't really gain a lot of damage. Michelangelo did actually, in fairness. He got like an extra 20 mil damage. But obviously the team didn't do as well. Let's discard that one and just go with Crushing Rend. So we're looking to see if we up the 95 mil damage by going Crushing Rend. So everything else the same. All we've done is change the blessing. It's the right team in. This should, I think, scale way higher, but always interesting to see. He does put out a lot of debuffs. Actually, it didn't. It didn't. He got 88. So it looks like Nature's Wrath just might be the way to go, even in Hydra. I wonder if that changes, actually, as we go to higher levels. I wonder if he's got enough stats to be able to deal. Because the level of the enemy goes higher. So the higher the level of the enemy, the more value you get from like a Crushing Rend. Let's just test the two again here. See if we do hit the 1,000 turn mark. We didn't. So clearly useful. I don't think he's like the best end game champ that exists, but I think if you're at least mid game, I think he gets into most of your teams. He's got so many good debuffs for Clan Boss, Hydra, Chimera, so versatile for Doom Tower, Cursed City. There's not really anywhere where we can't play and be really effective. And as I say, in Arena, there's some niche strats where he's actually really strong, like with an Astrolith, but generally he's going to hit hard, right? So as long as you can hit hard, he's got a chance of being in the squad. I see Nubs has got like a full-on turtle team out here. Okay, let's just try this against Nubs. So we are quick, which is good. Let's just activate Michelangelo, just see what he does against this turtle team. Donatello's really tanky over here, plus he's the wrong affinity, so this might be tricky to take him down. Let's just see what sort of damage we do. There's no decreased defense out here or anything like that, so, and he's got no increased attack on himself. So this might end up being too much to ask for. But let's see. Takes one out completely. I mean, it's an okay level of damage. Bearing in mind he didn't have the buffs, and we didn't really have the sort of debuffs to play with. Let's just leave this for Michelangelo to try and do the work. He wasn't really able to. Still, we're going to grab your health and see you off. But damn, that Donatello was tanky as. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be like the strongest ever in PvP. I don't think that's what he's made for. But certainly can come into teams, and you know, if you're in that mid game, he's going to be your nuker, or he can be your debuffer, setting up your nuker, you know, stunning a particular target. I think there's a lot of versatility there. So yeah, I think good, free champ. I think fun champion as well. And yeah, if you want to check out the page on hellhades.com, we've got like all of the information where we believe he is strong. We've also got on this page, if we've got an infographic for a champion, it's going to be here. So you can click on the infographic and it will just give you like a summary of different elements that we think are strong. This is something that Nubs does for a bunch of our heroes or a bunch of the champs. And actually, a lot of people find these really valuable. So that's going to be it for today. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.